This episode is about Holy Week and the choices we get to make. I'm Rachael Keefe, and this is Monday's Muse. Holy Week begins with Palm Sunday, where we get to wave palm branches in the air and shout Hosanna and celebrate Jesus' triumphal return to Jerusalem. But it is also a day where we get to make a choice. We get to renew our commitment to follow Jesus, or we can make other choices. We can choose to do nothing. We can choose to follow Pilate, whose parade is on the other side of town. We can choose once again, God's ways, or wander off into the path of human ways. This is what Palm Sunday is all about. Jesus returned to Jerusalem knowing what was going to happen, at least on some level. And he came anyway to show us that love wins in the end. But before we get there, we have a whole week to travel through. We get to watch as Jesus goes up to the temple, looks around, shakes his head, and rides away. Then we get to the night of betrayal on Thursday. We know what is going to happen, and yet Jesus breaks bread and holds out his cup and promises a new covenant with his followers, even though betrayal is just hours away. And then betrayal happens, and he's tried and convicted and crucified on Friday. And there is the heaviness of grief and loss and hopelessness and despair before Easter Sunday comes with new life. We don't want to rush to that place too soon. We want to ask ourselves, who do we follow? Do we go to the parade that's on the other side of town with war horses and armor and spears and shiny things that promises us safety? Or do we want to choose Jesus, with his toes dragging in the dust, with palm branches and cloaks thrown on the ground? Hardly a fit pavement for one who would save us. But where do we put our energy? To whom are we faithful? If you are like me and have not been as faithful as you would like to be in following God's ways, today is a new opportunity to recommit. To say, I want to follow this one who comes in humility, offering love and grace and forgiveness even to those who would betray him. I want to follow this one who will ultimately show that love triumphs and death doesn't have the final say. So I invite you to look at your own life, a sort of spiritual new year, and decide where you want to be faithful. Who do you want to follow today? God's ways or human ways? The choice is always ours. May your Holy Week be blessed with grace, with God's presence, and with the strength we need to see it through to the very end. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.